Please note, views and opinions expressed in the course of this program do not represent that. Note, views and opinions expressed in the course of this program do not represent that of OTV. Therefore, this channel is not liable to any legal action that may result from this program.
Dédé àsìkò yìí ẹ ti káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì wo TV náà tàbí tá a máa ń gbé wá fún yín lọ́lọ́kan ọ̀jọ̀kan èní èjì. Ẹ ti wá mọ̀ ìgbé bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti fojú kàn mí lórí ìkànnì wo TV ara ọ̀tún ara ọ̀tọ̀ òun náà lòun tá a tún gbé dé kí wá lóhun ara kí ló wọ ọ̀tún ọ̀hún ẹ má gbọ́ lẹ́nu mi o ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe báyìí ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ wọ yàrá lọ ká lọ wo fọ́nrán yìí níbi tí àlàyé wà lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ohun tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ gbọ́ àti tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ rí àti gbogbo ìtẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ń pátá òun ló ti wà ní sẹpẹ́ ó ti yá ẹ jẹ́ àjọ lọ gbọ́.
ẹ kọjú sí kámẹ́rà.
ọba mọ ẹgbẹ̀rún èèyàn lọ pè é mọ wà mọ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ilé tẹ̀ ṣe èmi àti òmùra rí.
sẹ́yìn tó sọ̀bù ni.
mítìrì tẹ̀ ń ṣe nu.
lákùn bọ́ àmú ẹ̀ fún mi nígbà tí wọ́n wà sí lákùn.
tẹ bá ní àwo mínítì tẹ kọ kò sẹ́ni tí ò bẹ́ẹ̀ ká fẹ́ràn sẹ́nu ká wá sí. tẹ bá fẹ́ ṣe kí ni ẹ kọjá sí jìnnà rẹ́rẹ́rẹ́rẹ́ jìnnà gan. níjọ́ mẹ́jọ òní ẹ̀yin ilé aláràn ẹni wọn kúrò bí ẹ sanwó wọn fún wọn o ọlọ́run kẹ́ni ju kẹ́mọ́ ìgbówó olùsọ́ba yìí lọ ilé aláràn
àjẹtẹ gbóná nù.
ẹ dáwọ́ padà kán kúrò bí tábà bá omi jọ́ mẹ́jọ bá ṣe wá ìkórè rọrùn o
àjẹtẹ gbóná nù.
kò ní rọrùn o
àjẹtẹ gbóná nù sẹ.
ìmọ̀rí lórí tó ń ṣe yìí mítì tẹ́ ń ṣe nu ẹ máa lọ́nà pé torí ìjà ìjà ká ti bò yín gbogbo ìjà sọ kọmíṣánná pólísì mọ òun látàfẹ́ ṣe yìí ṣe mọ pé kẹ́ gbàṣẹ mọ́ lọ́kàn àti gá àti sẹ́ẹ̀tì àti gbogbo múfẹ̀tì yẹn la mọ̀ ẹ kúrò mí yìí ẹ máa lọ ìlú tábà bíjọ́ mẹ́jọ báwa la nílùú ni bẹ́ẹ̀ yìí ẹja jọ dán o báwa ni bẹ́ẹ̀ yìí ẹja tó
ẹ mọ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn nǹkan sọ wọn níbi tí ẹ ti kó ìṣẹ̀ṣe ilé ẹsẹ̀ tán fi lé yín.
lọ́pọ̀ lọ́pọ̀ ti lé ọ ìṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ló ṣe pé bọ́ wá wá síbi ẹ má jà bá bíjọ́ mẹ́jọ o èmi sálà ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́jì wọ́n sọ fún mi pé àgọ́rọ̀ bá yín bí níjọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ẹ tíráì mi wò ṣẹ́dọ́ tàbá tó ń pa ibi níjọ́ mẹ́jọ òní ẹ̀dẹ̀ wò
kò sí ẹ̀sán àgbà àkẹ́tọ́ lè ṣàtọ́.
ẹ̀dẹ̀ wò ilé alárìn ilé wọn o ilé alárìn ilé wọn àgbọ̀rọ̀ bá wọn níjọ́ mẹ́jọ o tí yín la wò ó lè ní tá a mú bọ̀ wá ló yẹ kẹ́yìn tẹ jára nílá ní kẹ́ ṣáájú náà tó tàbá ní ẹ̀kan lù ẹ̀mí àgbélótà sọ fún yín àti pọn ilé tó bá yẹ ilé alárìn lẹ́yìn eléyìí tó bá tún ṣe méjì nìṣẹ́ṣẹ́ níbi ilé alárìn níjọ́ mẹ́jọ òní kọ́ọ̀tẹ̀ sí bí tọ́ bá sí bí rárá tọ́ bá sí rárá ẹ̀dá
tífì wọn láwọn fẹ́ máa tà tífì.
sàábà lẹ́kùn jama sàábà lẹ́kùn ẹ̀dá òkúrọ̀ lọ́wọ́ sóbìnrin ta tv ni
obìnrin ò ta tv
sóbìnrin ta tẹlifíṣàn.
ìyá yìí bó lẹ́yìn ṣe jẹ́ bó lẹ́yìn ṣe jẹ́.
kọ́lá ìlọ́rọ̀ kọ́kọ́ bá wọn sọ ní táwa fẹ́ láti sọ fún yín. báwọn náà ní ẹ̀wọ̀n.
ẹ má bà nǹkan jẹ́ ẹ má bà nǹkan jẹ́. àbá ní sùúrù. mo sì tún fẹ́ rọ gbogbo àwa tá à ń gbóhùn sáfẹ́fẹ́ pàápàá àwọn ọ̀dọ́ oníṣẹ̀ṣe láti ṣe gìdọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ kí a na sùúrù sí i òkun kì í wó rúru ká sì máa wá rúru nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀gbẹ́ni Tani Olohun tí a bá fẹ́ràn Tani Olohun ó yẹ kí gbogbo wa ó sowọ́pọ̀ ká wá ọ̀nà tí yóò fi jáde nínú àtìmọ́lé nítorí pé òkun kì í wó rúru ká wá rúru ẹ má sọ̀rọ̀ òdì ẹ má ṣépè ẹ jẹ́ ká gbà láàfíà láàyè mo sì tún fi àsìkò yìí sọ fún gbogbo àwọn èèyàn wa náà àwọn alálùfáà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara wípé kí àwọn náà kó jèbù rẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gba àlàáfíà láàyè. Yorùbá náà ní gbogbo wa. Ẹ jẹ́ kí a jẹ́ kí nǹkan ó máa lọ bó ṣe yẹ. Ká mọ́ sáyé bá àti báyé. Ìrọ̀rùn la bá nígbà tá a dáyé. Ẹ má jẹ́ àsáyé bá àti báyé. Ẹ̀yin náà wo Yínká TNT ó ṣe ń pè fún ìfẹ́ àlàáfíà. Ọmọ mi ni èmi náà sì ń pè kí gbogbo wa ká fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gba àlàáfíà láàyè. Kéku ó lè ké bí eku, kẹja ó lè ké bí ẹja, kí ìlú wa ó lè rọrùn. Wọ́n ní bí ọ̀dẹ̀ òdùn bí ìgbẹ́ nílùú rí, tílé ò bá dùn tó de òrojú, ànírọ́mọ tálíkà tí ó ròde ẹmu. Torí náà ní orúkọ Olódùmarè, ní orúkọ àwọn adẹ́dàá aṣẹ̀dá, àwọn tí wọ́n ń ṣe ìṣẹ̀dá Yorùbá sílẹ̀, mo ń rọ gbogbo yín kí ẹ jẹ́ kí a fọwọ́ wọ́nú. Ẹni tí inú ń bí epo ọba ihò renú. Ẹ jẹ́ àgbà àlàáfíà láàyè kó lè bá àrọ̀ gbogbo wa lọ́rùn. Mo kí gbogbo yín a kú ọdún ìṣẹ̀ṣe o. Yóò rọ̀ wá lọ́rùn bá ṣe sọdún yìí á ṣe ẹ̀mí.
In a move to champion the cause of justice and freedom of expression, prominent human rights activist Omoyele Sowore paid a visit to the esteemed senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, today terming it a legal strategy meeting. Recent developments have cast a spotlight on the case of Adegbola Abdulaziz, popularly known as Tani Olohun, a prominent traditional worshipper and activist hailing from Kwara State. Abdulaziz found himself in custody after a magistrate court in Ilorin, the capital of Kwara State, remanded him on various charges, including allegations of conspiring to incite unrest in the city. The alleged incident was said to have occurred during a gathering of fellow traditional and idol worshippers in Ilorin on August 20, 2023. Sowore took to his Facebook page to rally support for Abdulaziz, posting under the hashtag #FreeTaniOlohun. In his post, he highlighted the unjust detention, abuse, and torture of isese activist Tani Olohun, Oluwotede, and others in Kwara State. He vowed not to tolerate oppression against Nigerian citizens, whether by state or non-state actors in collusion with the police, reiterating the Revolution Now slogan. In a video shared on his Facebook page, Sowore passionately voiced his concerns with Femi Falana by his side. Falana strongly condemned the arrest of Tani Olohun, labeling it a manifestation of colonial-era suppression tactics. Sowore had previously lambasted the Nigerian police force for the unlawful arrest of Tani Olohun, denouncing their actions as unprofessional. His online campaign under the hashtag #FreeTaniOlohun aimed to raise awareness about the detained activist's plight. Source reports that the visit by Sowore to Falana's chambers signals an ununified front in the fight for justice and civil liberties as they prepare to take on the legal battle for Tani Olohun's release. The nation watches closely as this case unfolds, with a growing call for transparency and adherence to the principles of justice.
I'm going through all this before. In fact, one of the cases we are going to use, Tabamana Court, is Ottawa and State. Incidental, the Guru was on the panel. Otalata said, this was the law that declared sedition of the white people that brought the power thought we were an illiterate mob. Yes, and they do not have such law in their country. And that the freedom gained by our former colonial master must not be toyed with. That's right. And we must resist any attempt to use the machinery of the state to harass political opponents. criticisms is indispensable in a democratic system. And that was when they declared sedition of Nika, which is like this one. In other words, and they said, if you feel too irascible as a public officer and you don't want to be criticized, cover your 2 years with cotton wool. Right? And they then said, if you feel offended by any publication, sue for libel, where you put your reputation in issue. Because if you want to be a public officer, you must be transparent. So that was 1983. So that law was declared there. So they now only one way criminal like that. In 2003.
Lọ́tọ̀ pẹ́tọ̀. Nígbà àwọn ní kí á béèrè ojúṣe tiwọn náà ló fi ṣe kí nìyà fi ń fún wọn. Fífún yín tí wọ́n á fún yín ìdẹ́fẹ́ máa lò fún rẹ̀ o. Sọ yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Nta ti sinmi ẹ̀ lọ. Ta ti jẹun gbàgbé ẹ̀ lọ. Ẹ̀fẹ́ fẹ́ hù tà padà yìí o. So ẹ má fi pé ìjọba fún yín lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ yín dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ o. Tòbí bí n tí aṣáájú sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan àwọn ọ̀rá yìí máa gbọ́ rédíò àbí àjọ̀ǹdà tí wàá fi gbọ́. Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n bá gbọ́ wọ́n bá àgbọ́ báyìí ìbí ń gbẹ wọ́n fi hàn pé ẹwọ yìí. Ibẹ̀ láti rí pé àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọ́n sáfẹ́ kí ìlú yóò dàrú, wọ́n sáfẹ́ kí ìlú yóò bàjẹ́. Wọ́n ò fẹ́ràn gọ́fúnà wọn, wọ́n ò fẹ́ràn ààrẹ wọn. Bí a bá fẹ́ kí nǹkan kan ṣẹlẹ̀ tí ò wá ṣẹlẹ̀ síbi afẹ́ sí, kò túmọ̀ pé ká lọ fi hú ká fi dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ pé nígbà bá dá wàhálà lẹ̀ tí wọ́n bá rójú ẹgbẹ́ sì sùúrù ẹgbà fọlọ́. Àwa mùsùlùmí àmọ́ gbà fọlọ́ ní lódodo ẹ̀sìn wa sọ fún wa pé ká dáàbò bò ká sì jà fún. A lè jà fẹ́ sí wa bí tí mo sọ ń gbọ̀rọ̀ ìbò ṣèbò wípé àwa sọ pé mùsùlùmí la fẹ́ nípò. A lè ṣiṣẹ́ tó mú bàtà lágbára. A lè torí ẹni tó fẹ́ dìbò gọ́fúnà ṣiṣẹ́ wa torí ẹ̀sìn wa àtọ́nà wa la fi ṣe. Ẹni tó fẹ́ dépò àwa rẹ̀ ò ní kankan ṣe. Ọ̀dẹ̀ níbẹ̀ tán a nídìí àti bá ṣe a nídìí kankan ju pé kó sáà ti máa ṣẹ̀sìn Islam kan tó jẹ́ kó ṣe lọ. A ní àwọn ní kankan pé pẹ̀lú àìsàn bọ̀ ló ṣe. Náà ọwọ́ awó síbi tọ́lọ̀ ń fẹ́ kó wó sí lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ lágbàbọ́lọ̀ lórí ẹ̀. Ìyá náà hú àìsàn ló ṣe. A sì bọ́ta akíkọ́ fún ọ̀wà ẹkú oríire o. Ẹ̀yin lọ́n fẹ́ fún ìlọ́fẹ́ ni àwọn afẹ́fọ́ lọ́n fún ìwọ̀lọ́ ẹni tó bá rí pé yọ́ dáa jù lọ́ bá ní gbélé lọ́wọ́ àmọ́jọ́ jẹ́ mùsùlùmí. Ó sì rí pé ẹni tí ó dáa jù tó gbélé lọ lásìkò yìí ó nìyẹn ìtàhà. Mo sọ̀rọ̀ kan ní ìgbà ilé ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀. Mo ní kádàrá Ọlọ́run ti kò lórí báwo ni sàmánì kọ̀ọ̀kan ti fẹ́ rí. Mo ní àsìkò tí wọ́n fẹ́ fún àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe ní ọlùdé tiwọn náà ni Ọlọ́run ti kádàrá ẹ̀. Mo ní ẹ wá gbọ́ nígbà mo sọ fún Indo ní pé àìwọlé mùsùlùmí tàbí ọwọlé tí mo ní ikímọ̀ tí ń bẹ ń bẹ á padà máa rí ọlọ́kan ń bẹ lóde yìí o níbo ni ìbá fojú sí ká sọ pé mùsùlùmí lọ́pọ̀ tó yàgá Ọ̀yọ́ state títí ń bẹnu àkọọ́lẹ̀ Ọlọ́run pásítọ̀ yìí wọ́n fún wọn ní ọdúndé ìṣẹ̀ṣe. Mo ní máa sọ fún àwọn ọmọ akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọ́n á pè wọ́n ní tí mo jẹ gangan àtọ̀ sí táwọn èèyàn fi ń pọ́n mi lé kọ́lọ̀ wọn kàwọn náà lábùkù. Mo ní ń bo ní tájú àgbè ni ó fojú sí báyìí. Pẹ́pásíkò tí ọlọ́nkádà náà nì mùsùlùmí àbẹ́ńbẹ̀ ìmọ̀ àbí sáré. Ẹ̀yìn mùsùlùmí rẹ̀ tó ń gbé kó débẹ̀ ṣé ń tó ṣe yìí àsìkò ṣe lọ́sẹ̀ gbọ́ pé àsìkò tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ rí. Mo ní tó fún ní ìbúlé eléyìí ẹja máa gbà fọlọ́run lágbàtà ìkímà tó fẹ́ fàyọ ẹnìkan ò mọ̀. Ẹ̀yin oníṣẹ̀ṣe ìkìlọ̀ wá sí ni pé àwa ò ní jà a sì ní jà àmọ́ ẹ má tọ́ wa níjà torí pé wàláhì ẹ̀ tó bẹ́ẹ̀. ọ̀rọ̀ ní àtúnṣe lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn àwọn tó yẹ pé kí á kú gangan sójú ọ̀nà ògùn ọlọ́run gangan ní jókà ẹ̀yin tẹ́ẹ̀fẹ́ kú ọlọ́run tó dá yín náà sọ pé ẹ̀fẹ́ àtẹlẹ́bọ àti kírísẹ̀nì ẹ̀fẹ́ kú ẹ̀yin náà mọ̀ pé ikú yín ọ̀dà báyìí olódodo ń bẹ olódodo ẹ lè máa fi wá nǹkan jẹ kọ́ máa tó ṣe kó ṣe wá ń jẹ kẹ máa fi rí bá torí pé ẹ̀yìn báyé ṣe rí náà nù ń bẹ pé nǹkan ti ń jáyé kankan náà dání. àmọ́ pé mùsùlùmí ẹjẹ́ àjà kò só ń tọ̀ ń o àwa ọ̀já o àmọ́ ẹ má tọ̀ wá níjà o ẹ má tọ̀ wá níjà o ẹ má tọ̀ wá níjà o ẹ jọ̀ọ́ bí ẹ ṣe ń gbé bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń báyé yín bọ̀ ẹ máa ra gbé lọ jẹ́ẹ́jẹ́ báwọn ṣé báwọn wà báyìí àwọn kẹ́kẹ́ yẹn wà bá wa èèyàn bá ìgbé kẹta ilẹ̀ yìí mùsùlùmí tẹ̀ẹ̀dá ilẹ̀ o èyí lè dá wàhálà ìsílẹ̀ pàápàá jùlọ èyí tẹ̀ gbìnà ilẹ̀ àfà èyí lè dá wàhálà ìsílẹ̀ o àwọn ẹni yìí ti mọ̀ yí pé ìranù ní táwọn gbé lọ́wọ́ látara bẹ́ẹ̀ wọn ò bímọ kí wọ́n sọ lórúkọ wọn mọ́ àríwò lẹ́tí gbọ́ pé ọmọ kan wọ́n bí wọn ní onífádé ní ọmọ jẹ́ eégún ni a bí ní ọmọ jẹ́ lè gbọ́ mọ́ tí ó bá jókòó mùsùlùmí ayàdúkọ kẹsẹ̀ ìsáyidà tó jókòó mùsùlùmí wọ́n sì mọ̀ pé babaláwo làwọn máa ń ṣe ń yà wọn amẹ́ ẹ̀ tí ó pèlọ́kọ ní wà àmẹ́yìn lẹ wá ń lọ bá wọn pé ní wọ́n fi ògbà àwọn sáwọn ń bẹ nípa pé níbi tẹ́ ẹ bàjẹ́ dé ìmínú yín ẹ tún dé gbangba àta tó ń ti láwà ní lórí ẹ tún máa pọ̀fọ̀ ẹ máa tún wí proud pé ẹnìkan mi ní dákọ̀ rẹ̀ pé kò sí láyé mọ́ ìsìnmọ́ tó ṣe pàdé ọlọ́run gẹ́gẹ́ tí ó kò láyé gbangba ní àdúgbò kan lẹ́bàdàn ní gbé ń ṣe wáàsí nínú Ramadan ọwá ní iye odù fábà yìí ní ń bẹ
lẹ́nu àfá
àgbàtí à ń pè ní wáàsí ó ti wá kọ́ odù fá déye báyìí ó kù yẹ báyìí tó wọ́n kọ́ ó dẹ̀ lo ìwọ̀n tó ti kọ́ náà lójú gbogbo àwọn èèyàn ó dẹ̀ gbé ifá alẹ́ yìí máàmà fi dákìní ilé ya lọ́wọ́ ní bẹ lórí ẹ̀ inú wọn bẹ̀lẹ̀ kẹ́ kó dẹ̀ ní tí wọ́n sọ yìí ó ní ẹlẹ́ àlẹ́ ó sì ń ka ó sì ń pè ifá gbangba ta ìdágbòkó nínú onífọ̀nà sí máa sọ pé àti kìíní àwọn ìyá kan gbà Islam nílùú Ìbàdàn yìí ní àdúgbò kan lùú Ìbàdàn ọjọ́ lọ́sùn ìyá ìbá ọlọ́run bá dé sí pẹ̀lú pé wọ́n bá sọ̀rọ̀ ọlọ́run ó sì gbà ọwọ́ lóun fẹ́ gbà Islam kábọ̀ ń pe àfáà tí yóò wẹ̀ fún wa
káàsà
ní a bá dákọ àgbà àfáà kan lùú Ìbàdàn yìí ọ̀nà tó kó láyé nìsí àgbà àfáà ni wọ́n àgbà gbogbo wa ilé àgbà àfáà ni wọ́n gbà ìjìnlẹ̀ àfáà ni wọ́n. màmá kó lè mọ̀ pé n tó ṣe yìí akàkún àwọn báyìí là ń gbé bọ̀ ó ní wọ́n tó sọ àdí bàbá báyìí ó ní kì í sọ́dọ̀ ọ̀hún kí bàbá náà wá wẹ̀
wọ́n wẹ̀ bàbá wọn
torí pé wọn ò tó dún wájú òun pé wọ́n wẹ̀ òun ó ní kò ní ìwàdán ti dé bíbà yìí tí wọ́n agbágbára ń bí àwọn ni wọ́n wá wẹ̀ òun rárá o ẹ̀yin lẹ̀ ń wọ̀n láàbá màmá ń bọ́ láti ara wọn àbá àti ọwọ́ ẹ̀yẹ dákọ̀ ẹ̀ ó ní ẹbá ẹ̀yin dáǹkan lẹ̀ dá yìí ọlọ́run sì mà yìí o àmọ́ yóò dá ní ìsìn kẹ́ lọ túbá torí pé wá sí kọ̀sẹ́bọ tí gbogbo àwọn àfáà súnà ń ṣe ọlọ́run fún rẹ̀ wá fẹ́ bá wọn sí wá sí yìí lójú lè yọ ṣẹlẹ̀ o wọ́n mọ̀ wípé kò ní burúburú kátún àbá àkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó ń bọ́ ta ní ìsìn
lórí tí ń lọ yìí kábà kan tún wá bọ́ta ní ìsìn báyìí o
kó tún máa pé odùfá
kó tún wá máa pé odùfá àbí yóò máa lérí ògùn fóun níbàtẹ́
torí pé àwọn èèyàn ń lò ní ìsìn pé ẹ máa sọ pé fáwọ̀dá kíní kan ọ̀dà wọ́n máa ń gbé àwòrán ọjọ́ tí àáfàá kan sọ pé ẹsẹ̀ báyìí ẹsẹ̀ báyìí ẹsẹ̀ báyìí.
òun ní nǹkan báyìí lọ́dọ̀.
sára ayé kọ́ lélẹ́yìí ṣé nǹkan yẹn ò pàtàkì ní kóyọ̀ sí ọlọ́run wa gbé wá sí gbọ́nà ẹ̀bùrú sí kódà àáfàá mi ní ìsìn yóò ti fẹ́ mọ yàgbé ara torí ńdọ́ tí ó ń gbẹ́bọ ní tí ń gbẹ́bọ pẹ̀lú aṣọ ẹbọ yóò máa rò ní ìsìn pé kíjẹ́ mo ti mú fọ́tò òun lẹ́jọ́ náà báyìí tí wọ́n lọ yẹ bí afẹ́fẹ́ ní ìsìn kan èmi ò sọ pé tí wọ́n ń sọ ń lọrin ìkórí bẹ́ẹ̀ o àmọ́ ṣé kò sí irú ẹ̀ hágà sòhádì ìbéèrè mi nìyẹn tí àwọn tí lọrin tí wọ́n sọ pé wọ́n ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ o tí láwọn ò ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ o fine ọlọ́fẹ́ fi wó ọ̀rọ̀ ta náà ni tó bá rí bẹ́ẹ̀ àmọ́ ṣé kò sí irú ẹ̀ ṣé kò sáwọn àfáà fẹ́ gbé ẹlẹ́bọ pọ́nyán ni wọ́n ṣé wọn ọ̀pọ̀ ni ókè àṣẹ ilé máa sọ ń sìn pé ẹbọ ò dáa ókè tó bá rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ mi kẹta nìyẹn ẹ̀yin lè dá ilé ìsílẹ̀ o yóò sì dáa kẹ́ ẹ lọ túbá o gbogbo ààyè ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ẹ̀sìn tá a mọ̀ sí ilé kéwú tí àwọn èèyàn ti ń kọ́ kéwú tó ṣe pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ọmọ tó ti ń gbé àdánwò wá sílé bàbá ẹ̀ àwọn ọmọ ń lọ sí skul wọ́n ń gbé ẹ̀sìn tó yanjú bọ̀ láti skul ìjọ MSS ọlọ́run ní ìbàdàn náà jẹ́ àmín ẹ̀sán dáadáa àmín ìjọ MSS tí wọ́n ń mójútó ẹ̀sìn àwọn ní skul bá ní sàlékún agbára wọn àmín gbogbo ẹni tó lọ́wọ́ sí ìjọ náà sí lọ́ọ̀lẹ̀ tágbára ẹ̀ dínkù kọ́lọ̀ túbá onígbà ọjọ́ tẹ́ ẹ ṣiṣẹ́ pọ̀ tẹnu yín kò ẹ̀rú bá ẹ bọ́ lẹ̀ Yorùbá o because àmọ́ tí ń lọ sùkúù ọmọ àfá ọmọ babaláwo gangan náà ọmọ kiri wọn ń gbẹ́sìn tó yẹn nípò láti sùn ó lágbára débi pé tí wọ́n bá kó sàádà méjì lọ lẹ̀ Saudi bí wọ́n fẹ́ wọ wọn kan gbà wọ́n lọ máa kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ẹnìkan wọ́n á mú sàádà àti kéwú lọ́wọ́ fanawi ọ̀dẹ̀ ìyanjú ẹnìkan dẹ̀ mú sàádà ìwé 10 pẹ́yàn lọ́wọ́ kò mọ kí ó kankan Saudi ti bẹ́ẹ̀ gbẹ́ ẹyọ ẹnìkan náà méjèèjì ohun ìwọ̀n gbà wọ́n wá bí ọgbẹ́ kí ló dé wọ́n láwọn oníwèé ní ọ̀fọ́n ní problem àwọn kan dé àwọn kan kọ́ wọn lẹ́sìn gidi àwọn tí ń gbẹ́ kéwú dé àwọn kéwú tán ìyàkúyà náà tó padà lọ ọjà sẹ́rọ̀ ni ìwé sáà kẹlẹ́ díẹ̀ ẹ̀mọ yẹn ti Saudi dé tẹ́gbẹ́ lò tó dé bíbí àdé tó ń parí rẹ̀ ọjọ́ wọn tán Saudi obìnrin wọn tán Saudi abdulhakọ̀tẹ̀ kálukọ́ ọmọ pé wọ́n pàdé Ọlọ́run níjọ́ kan Saudi ná ìyálàjẹ owó orílẹ̀-èdè bàbá rẹ̀ ò lè ná wọn ná lé ọ lórí kó lè bá a lọ máa polongo ọ̀kan ṣoṣo Ọlọ́run àti ìpèlè ànábì ọwọ́ adéta bíbí àlọ́ fún parí rẹ̀ ọ pàdé Ọlọ́run kan o. So ní abala èèyàn láàfà bó ṣe ní ẹ̀wọ̀n náà wà mú ti lè ìjà sí sùúrù a ti ní nǹkan ìjà kan kí ni nǹkan ìjà náà ọmọ ti bọ́ọ̀mù lọ.
kò ní ẹ ti sábàbí rẹ̀ bá.
Èkó kẹ́rẹ̀ jí fa Kùránì yá.
kìí sì ṣe Èkó ní ti fa ìwé Ọlọ́run yá o.
mọ Èkó náà ti wá pè wá yìí.
Èkó ní ti wá pè wá yìí.
mọ́ńdàlá àwa tá a dáhùn yìí tá a tún gbọ́ tá a tún bá a dáhùn.
eriri àwa tá a gbọ́ tá a tún gbọ́ tá a sọ pé a dáhùn.
àwọn ò parí Èkó mọ́.
àwọn ò pe ará Èkó mọ́ kí wọ́n wá.
ibi náà sì fa Kùránì yá olórí ẹ̀.
ètò ìyá jókòó lórí ẹ̀.
kálukú ti ń bá tiẹ̀ lọ.
kálukú ń bá tiẹ̀ lọ ní o.
nígbà àwọn òkè ọmọ lòdì àdúrà tó fẹ́ lọ.
nígbà wọn sọ pé òde àdúrà yẹn ká lọ.
wọn ò diyan lọ́wọ́ òde.
wọn ò diyan lọ́wọ́ òde lílọ ní sùkúà.
ìwọ̀n àpapọ̀ àníyàn ṣé parí ṣe náà ṣé parí lọ ebi parí rẹ ebi parí tọrọ rà fún rẹ ni.
ebi tọrọ fún rẹ ni.
ẹ máa gbọ́ nǹkan.
lẹ́nu wọn lọ́hùn. ìdágbé sí ni.
kó wá àbí kó sun ná.
kó wá sun ná. kó rà gbọ̀gbọ̀rọ̀ fẹ́nu bà á jẹ́.
àṣẹ alẹ̀ wa.
àṣẹ ilẹ̀.
My name is Awo Akanbi Ifadola Ọmọ Afọ̀fún Ọ̀gábí Kẹta. I am a practitioner of the African traditional religion, a preacher of Ifa knowledge and its usefulness. Also, a member of the ancient conglomerate of traditional governments, also known as the Ogboni. With my young age, I've been able to undergo studies of Ifa, and the usage of herbs and roots for medicinal purposes. Also, I'm a consultant on anything relating to the knowledge of Ifa and medicine. I would like to first define what is tradition. By Yoruba, because English is the language that we use in communication, but I prefer English as a tool of communication. So it is important that I use English to interpret what I want to say, not English using me to interpret what English means. So apologies for the commas and the full stop if you don't understand. I'm trying to speak my language, but in English. Yeah, tradition. What does tradition means? In Yoruba, tradition means isese. Kí dẹ̀ ni isese? What is isese? As the word implies, isese, where it begins, how it began. That is the meaning of isese. That is tradition. So, what is isese? Isese entails religion. Isese entails philosophy. Isese entails medicine. Isese entails science. Isese entails technology. With this, you can be able to define that one's tradition is one's spirituality, because the physical aspect of one represents one's spirituality. So that is tradition. So for us, and many of us that are into the practice of Isese, it will be incomplete if all our aspect of lives does not represent our originality, does not represent where we come from. It will be totally incomplete. So this is tradition. It is not the Nollywood one that everybody do watch. No, Isese is where we come from. And someone said that without knowing the history, you cannot predict the future. So for us to know the future, and for us to be able to utilize and manage the future, we must know our history. And what is our history? Our history is embedded in our tradition, which is Isese. This leads to our spirituality. As Africans, we are such a spiritual continent. We are spiritual as the mother of mankind. So we are very, very spiritual. And that spirituality is as simple as this. It's not going into trance. That is African spirituality. It's not closing eyes and doing some gymnastic and the likes. That is African spirituality. African spirituality is simply divined by SFA that says, Adifa fún Ìṣẹ̀ṣe tí ṣe olórí orò lóde ọ̀run. Ǹjẹ́ kí ni ìṣẹ̀ṣe ẹni? Bàbá ẹni òun ni ìṣẹ̀ṣe ẹni. Yèyé ẹni òun ni ìṣẹ̀ṣe ẹni. Orí ẹni òun ni ìṣẹ̀ṣe ẹni. Tí gbogbo àwọn wọ̀nyí tó bá parapọ̀, ìṣẹ̀ṣe la kọ́kọ́ ṣe nífẹ̀ẹ́ kó tó di pa àṣebọ. Ìṣẹ̀ṣe la kọ́kọ́ ṣe nífẹ̀ẹ́ kó tó di pa àbọ ẹbọra. That is, what is one's spirituality? What is one's tradition? One's tradition is one's father is one's tradition. One's mother is one's tradition and spirituality. One's destiny, Ori, head, is one's spirituality. So it says that it's all this that we first pay homage to. It's all this that we first practice before we give venerations and appeasement to any other energies. This correlates with the science word of physics and quantum physics that give detailed explanation on energies. That is, every human being is an energy, and that energy is being transferred. It's being transferred from our mother, our father, that make up the cell of our own energy. So with this together, that we are glad to tell everyone, I am glad to tell the world that one's spirituality is one's destiny, one's father, one's mother. For many of religion, foreign religion, imported religion, they might have give this fear of even associating with mothers and our parents. But the religion, in quotes, traditional religion, or let me say our tradition, does not give room for that. It gives room for us to associate with our mother and our father because they make up our DNA. They make up our DNA, which is our spirituality. It has
Now, considering the isese, this has to do with the worship of the deities. How do you decide which of the deities one will worship? Or is there a particular one that is given particular reverence to?
Well, I will answer by saying deities, ancestors, whatever name we might have liked to call them, in my language, which is the Yoruba language, they are considered as Orisha. Orisha means the one whose head chose, or the one that is chosen by his or her head. And these primordial energies, as I said earlier, all of us are energies. But there are some energies that are primordial due to their works, due to their innovations and inventions. So these are the energies that we call Imale, also called Irumale, Latin Ile. They made up the land. Imale. So all these orishas, there is none that should not be appeased, venerated, or in quotes, worship, if it's necessary that you want to worship. Of course, at the end of the day, as I said, all of us are energies. We will also still become one of them for generations to come, when they will reflect on our works and check the history on how we or the works that we have done. So this gives credence to why Shango, which is the innovator of all technology, yeah, Shango is the innovator of all technologies that we are using. Shango is the innovator. Also Ogun is the innovator of primarily the source of technology, which has to do with anything iron. Also Onumila, which gives us the coding system that we now use as the computer now. In the Ifa practice, we have the 256 odus that is like binary. They come in binary form. It comes in binary form, the 0 and the 1. Also, that's how the Ifa system is. So this is to tell us that all the works that we are doing will make us to be one of the Imale for the generations to come. So all Imales, all of them deserve venerations, appeasement, and worship.
Now, for ethnic or native Yoruba children whose parents never sought information about their birth through the Odu or the guardian ancestors, is there a modern way to find out?
Yes, that is why Babalawos exist. That is why Babalawo Nifa exists. We have to be clear, because Babalawo, anyone that belongs to Awo means sacred. Anyone that belongs to any group that is sacred, that the practice of the group is not shared openly, is an Awo. But Babalawo Nifa is the one that is an initiate of Ifa, which is the diviner and the custodian of all destinies. So, if Ifa is the custodian of all destinies, we, the devotees, the practitioners of Ifa divination system, a trained Babalawo can be able to access that information, download it, and relate it to anyone that is finding what follow, which is called Akose Jaye. Aside from children, the younger ones, also elderly ones can also do it, but the process might be longer, which might involve a process in the fact that is called Ishefa ati Itelodu, which will be going. Itelodu means going into the bush to be able to accept one's destiny, one's fate. That is the process. So it is very simple and it is very, very affordable, available if we are ready to go by the way.
Now, how have the African traditionalist cope with being a spiritual worshiper in a country where Islam and Christianity have taken over the public spaces?
It is ironic, at the same time sad, that Africans, especially people of the same ethnic race, are fighting each other because of imported religions and wasting valuable resources because of imported religion. Because these religions that we are accepting is actually a tradition of some people. That is what we are preaching, that don't see isese as a religion, see it as your own tradition. Because the religion that you embrace, no matter the religion, the way of spirituality you embrace, it has tradition of some people in it. For the foreign religions and all those is a tradition of some people, of the foreigners that brought the religion. It is important that every African child trace back their roots to their tradition. When they trace back their roots, they will be able to carve a niche for themselves in the foreign economy. It is very important to note that why Africa is not, part of the reason why Africa is not moving forward in the economic space is because of its refusal or our refusal to carve a niche for ourselves with the resources available in Africa. Like my ancestor Ogun is popularly called the god of iron. Well, I agree. Ogun invented a lot of technologies, a lot of innovations. Ogun invented all the irons that we are using, and even to the point of gun. So if Ogun that has lived thousands or millions of years ago could be able to do that, we should be able to build on that, innovations, modernize them. Also, we have Osun Ibiki, who is the first energy that existed in human form to use leaf for medicinal purposes. The innovations of Osun Ibiki are what this generation now supposed to build upon, not us now running to other traditions outside Africa, like the Chinas that are not telling us alternate medicine. Meanwhile, we have that medicine here. That is my response to the question of foreign religions and tradition. Let's see it as tradition, not as religion.
All right. Let's look at another issue, and that has to do with religious tolerance. And considering Yoruba religious beliefs that allows for plurality of religion and that has allowed them to live in peace with other religions, even though the other religions haven't given them the same courtesy. For example, we saw what is happening in Ilorin with the recent arrest and detention of Tani Olohun. What's your take on this? I mean, why is there so much, religious intolerance towards the African traditionalists?
Yeah, it is important to say this first, because the Isese generally, all the practice, all the religions in Isese allows tolerance, peace, and equitable society. But it is important that we put this message out there to our fellow African brothers, that it is enough. It is time that we put an end to internalizing rival issues. Because this has kept us in hostage for a very long time. It has been a tool that even the government has been able to use in order to keep us in no stage and in bondage. So it is time for us to put an end to it. That's my first advice to everyone out there. To continue it, I just want to tell fellow Yoruba, especially the Yorubas in Ilorin, that they should stop. They should stop destroying the work of our forefathers. If they really have to read the history of Ilorin, they will know that they are doing a big damage to the history of their forefathers. They should stop. Because what they are doing now, it is for them to note that generations to come after them will actually do it for them as well. So, it is, as I said earlier, that the Isese community gives room for tolerance, we just want an equitable society and where everyone can live in peace. It's now funny how they usually taunt the Babalawo Nifas and especially the Babalawo Nifas and the Oshun devotees, because part of the oath to be a Babalawo, to be a custodian of Ifa, is to never use your knowledge to hurt any human being. So most of them know this. That's why they always feel like they can always taunt us. But we are telling them that they are doing it to the end now. And to the end in the sense that we are not going to fight back in any way. But legally, we are fighting. But others aspects of Isese, which include the Olodes and Kos, they dare not try this with all the Egbeode, with the Shango devotees. They dare not. But it's so bad that they continue to do this to the Babalawos, Onifas, and the Oshun devotees, because they are under oaths not to do anything bad against fellow human beings. With regard to the Ilorin issue, our elders, our Oluwos, our senior and elderly awos are on it. Also, we are so glad that a popular public figure and an activist, Omoyele Sowore, has stepped in with full force into the issue. We really appreciate, and we are so confident that legally we are right, and we will be proven by the courts that all our actions are right and not wrong. Because the Constitution of Nigeria allows everyone, every citizen, of freedom of conscience, thoughts, and religion. So, in no way practicing any spiritual form that is traditional, that is not alien to the people of Nigeria. So we are right, and we'll be proven by the court with that.
Now, there are so many misconceptions about Orisha worship. What are some of these misconceptions that you know about, that you would like to enlighten the public about, and that you feel that they should know? For example, let me take the fact that people have associated Ishu as Satan.
Yeah.
But your religion says that Ishu is different from Satan.
Yeah. It's actually a very good platform for us to actually debunk a lot of all these myths and reorientate the popular masses about the Orishas. It is said that when they continuously tell lies, lies become truths. Eshu is not Satan. Eshu Lalu Ogiri Oko. Eshu is a primordial energy of justice. Eshu is the primordial energy that actually advocates for justice and equity. And that is why he does not have friends. And it's called Obelekun Sekun Kelu Belekun Elekun Sekun Laro Yenseje. Because of how he advocates for one. because of how it takes one matter on his or her head. So Eshu is not in any way Satan. Also, it's also to tell the Abrahamic religions that God of the Bible, God of Abraham, is not Olowo Gbogboro. Olowo Gbogboro is one of the many orikis of the forces that control the nation. Àwọn Ìyá wọ́n ní Olowo Gbogboro tí ń jọmọ ẹ̀ lọ́fin ayé lórúkọ táwọn Ìyá mi ń jẹ́. It is also to note that Ifa Orunmila does not have anything to do with money ritual. Because especially it is so sad that Nollywood created that impression that anything that has to do with traditional spiritualism or spiritism is money ritual
and action.
It is important to note that the contribution of Nollywood to defamation of our ancestors, as the word defamation is now very common and it's flying around, so let me borrow that word. But beyond defamation is also demoralization of our ancestors. Gave this lot of misconceptions about Yoruba spiritism or African spiritism. That everything that has to do with indigenous spiritism has to do with money ritual, making money, and making money. No. And it also notes, for you can see, the Yorubas are actually embracing their culture, which is very fine, and also the spiritism, the spiritual aspect of it. But it's so sad that our Igbo brothers are not even running away from it because of the kanayo that all of us know. Kanayo. The Igbos don't even want to associate with their own spirituality. They prefer to even come to we, the Yorubas, to associate with the indigenous spirituality. So we are using this opportunity to call on all Nollywood scriptwriters to seek knowledge, because it's obvious that they don't have 40 years plus of practice and they still continue to demonize, they still continue to demoralize everything that has to do with isese and African spirituality. We are calling on all of them to seek knowledge, and we are ready to help them out.
Now, considering the fact that the survival of the Ifa divination system has been because of generations of elders passing the knowledge down through the ages, especially through words and roads, how hard is the memorization of the Odu Ifa?
Well, that's one of the many secrets that is not actually a secret, but the gifts that we are gifted in Africa. For a practicing Babalawo, it is required that the minimum of, we have 256 Odus, 60 principal Odus. Let's use the word chapters. But in those chapters, you have verses, philosophies, histories, songs, poetries, plays as well. Everything literature is embedded in all those chapters. So it is required that a Babalawo know the minimum of 20 per Odu. A practicing Babalawo, minimum of 20 per Odu. So how it is being passed on? Now the world is so modernized that we have opportunities of books that are being written on Ifa, a lot of books where these verses are being collected. But indigenous is when Ifa learner, let me say that, or Ifa students is with his or her teacher, because it's not only a male that can learn Ifa or also practice Ifa. That's another misconception. Female do Ifa. Females are alawos, babalawos, but we use the word yanifa for them. So it's not necessary that you become the wife of a babalawo in order to learn. No. You can be married to a professional outside the work of divination and be a diviner yourself as female. Yanifa. That's what it is called.
Now, of all the Odu Ifa, let me just put you on the spot here. Which is your favorite and why is it?
In all the Odu Ifa, you don't have a favorite. Reason be that all the knowledges that are embedded in all the Odus, they are vast and they are talking on so many angles. So you have a lot. I don't have any favorites. But the one that I actually relate to people most is the verse that recommends traditionalism. I use that word traditionalism, which I chanted earlier in this interview, that relates to us isese, and the meaning of isese: mother, father, and one's destiny.
Now, how do you think the interest in African spirituality can be stimulated in the country and most of the misconceptions reduced?
Yeah, it's part of what we are doing now. Part of what we are doing now is it. And I'm so glad that the Isese celebration that happened on August 20, 2023 gained the widest and the most unimaginable attention across the country. Because the advocacy of the worshippers or the devotees made the state government, about four of the states governments, to legalize the celebration of Isese by giving them an holiday, which made the.
tó ẹ káàbọ̀ padà ṣe ẹ ti wá rí i pé ọmọ àlèyàn ló máa sọ̀rọ̀ tẹ̀ ní bàbá ẹ̀ níléeṣẹ́ kan ní Wo TV à ń jẹ́wọ́ fún yín pé ọmọ ọkọ làwa àwí bẹ́ẹ̀ a sì ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ òun rèé ojú ọbẹ̀ òun làwo òun náà òun ni ó fi gbọbẹ̀ o kò wá ní jù báyìí lọ lórí ètò fún ti sáàyè àwa ń lọ àwa ń padà bọ̀ ẹ máa bá mi láìkì ẹ máa bá mi ṣíà kí wọ́n gbọ́ wá káàkiri àgbáńlá ayé pé ìkànnì Wo TV níbẹ̀ náà ni àti ń ṣe bẹ́bẹ́ títí wá dìgbà míì táwọn ìjọba máa fojú rinjú lórí ìkànnì bákan náà Àdìgún olódodo ràwọ̀ ni mò ń jẹ́ èmi lọ́mọ ń padà bọ̀ o tó ẹ̀yin náà ẹ ṣe tó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ ṣe ẹ má kó lórí ìkànnì Wo TV nítorí pé àwa la ní pẹpẹ ètò ó di lábọ̀.
Disclaimer: the information provided by the speaker or presenter on the Wo TV platform during this broadcast is for general informational purposes only. All information in this broadcast is provided in good faith. However, we make no representation or warranty of any kind, expressed or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of the information. The broadcaster of the channel may not and cannot be held accountable for the views, opinions, and comments made by callers during this broadcast. Wo TV is a contemporary Nigerian news and entertainment TV program born from the need to fuse the popular indigenous Yoruba culture into the growing entertainment industry of Nigeria and the rest of the world.